First of all, I want to start with some bulky stuff, and if you watch me regularly, you probably see the pictures in the end of my videos of dolls I taken on a certain background. So instead of buying proper background, which you can buy on AliExpress or eBay, like a proper photo background for your dolls, which I've got quite a few as well, I decided to do something a bit more easier. And I do believe in recycling, saving the planet for the future us. I had a lot of cardboard, like a lot of A4 format sheet of cardboard. And I decided to use that to create a background for the dolls, mainly for MSDs, because for SDs it's a bit tricky and I think you need to have a foldable background in order to store it correctly. So I will show you first the background. You're probably familiar with this one, and that's what it looks on the back. So it's basically a cardboard. You can see it's been double up, triple up with the cardboard all glued together with a hot glue gun. It's really easy, maybe time consuming because quite a few things you need to do. You can make it as big as you want. Obviously you can make another wall and connect them. And you might be familiar with this background as well. It's done in the same exactly fashion. I can also cover the back with different paper. What I use for my background, the easiest way is to use a wrapping paper. And as you know, the wrapping paper these days, it's just amazing. So this is unicorn I just showed you, and this was the polka dot. And this background you may recognize well if you watched my video in my bathroom. That's what I used in there. So the wrapping paper is thin enough to be suitable for MSD scale, because if you use something more thicker like a real wallpaper, it might look a bit bulky and odd. But instead of the heavy cardboard, if you really not fancy, you have got any something to recycle and you've no boxes, I used foam board. Light enough, it's really easy to store. You can just shove it somewhere, even under your bed if you want. You've got no storage or behind the units or anything. How do I store my things for BJDs? I mean, like shoes, for example, boots, or even hats. This cotton buds container is absolutely perfect. I think in the UK they're gonna ban the cotton buds with a plastic middle and instead of having a paper one, but I don't think they're gonna ban the actual packaging. So, and this is maybe not as popular than usually this kind of one, the store brand, but you're probably familiar more with like a Johnson cotton buds and what I use them for. So as you can see, as a plain, I haven't cut with anything, so I use them to store BJD heads, so that doesn't damage face up, nothing. And this is kind of the done one, just decorated, so it says red and soul dye. And I covered it with a thin paper, decorative paper, thin one. Don't do thick one, otherwise the lid wouldn't shut. And like I said, it's perfect. You can stack them up, and so the heads are quite safe, and this protects the face up. This black one is not just a paper, it's like a chalk type paper. We can just write with your chalk on it, like a chalkboard thing, and erase it if you don't need it afterwards. I've got loads of eyes which I collected through the years and which I made myself, mostly, well, actually half and half now. So, and how do I store my eyes? So I've got a lovely box, and if you're interested I will show you later how I store my other BJD things in the craft room. I've got like the whole like a coupe type wardrobe, which was the doors taken out, and I'm just using it as a boxes and all written on them. Anyway, so that's how I store them. So you can see it says, what it says there? Oh yeah, BJD eyes. So, and well, how do I store my eyes? So that's how I store them. And each box Obviously it's supposed to be like a pill box like this, but you can take the one container out, and what's good about it, that it actually doesn't open the whole container, it opens each separate section, so the eye is stored in there. A little different, you can see through them, so you know which eye is which and so on. As you probably know, sometimes when you try to put something quite tight, like a long sleeve t-shirt or long sleeve coat, and the hands constantly get trapped in the outfit, like constantly, like, oh, how many times I caught it in there, and I was just blah, 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 blah. This is just a small zipper plastic bag, and just slide it on, and it's much easier. You can even put like a small rubber band so it doesn't get moved, but you don't need really to. You can just lock the zipper bag like that and slide things much. Obviously you need to make sure it's definitely gonna fit, because you don't breaking any fingers. With minifigs I think it's completely different ball of game. They have magnetic hands, most of them, so the problem solved. But for these kind of girls, boys, these ears are held in place by the magnets, obviously, so the magnets are not attached to the head. The magnets are from the other side of the wig. I know you're probably gonna think like, are you serious? Anyway, so if I take them off, the magnet is gonna be obviously loose in there. So if I take the wig off, oh great, the magnet stayed on, because there is obviously magnets on the door, on the head as well. So that's the magnet. Basically what I do before I take the wig, I take the wig out, I put one magnet first on one side, take one ear and find the position I want, because you can actually wiggle them, the magnet is gonna follow, so that's quite straightforward. I'm really sorry if it's that obvious, but it was not obvious to me for some reason. Not that I'm dumb or anything, but for some reason I figured out by kind of trying to think, how can I put these magnets on? What's that? Oh, okay. You know, sometimes you want to put some things in the doll's hand, and just for the photo shoot, for the purpose of the photography, and what I use either the blue tag or the double-sided tape. So this is a little phone, and that's the double-sided tape in there. And I already make some pictures with this girl, so the double-sided tape probably the best bet, because it's quite strong compared to the blue tag. Blue tag also has quite temperamental sometimes, in my opinion, but that's the phone. It's easy. If you're making clothes for your dolls, and I'm sure everyone is aware of a little cheat when you have a nice I showed this dress before. It's Kim, one of my dolly buddies, she sent me the fabric. It was gorgeous, so I made the dress out of it. I showed this before anyway, and obviously I cheat, and instead of basically finishing the bottom of the dress myself, I used the bottom of the, I think it was like a long tunic. Everyone knows that, but I went a bit further with that, and I recycle a lot, though I buy a lot at the same time, like a new fabric, but a lot of fabric actually, nice one I noticed, come with the human clothes. I can't understand why, but that's my observation. And so, like I said, I went a bit further, and you've probably seen this little cardigan. So you can see there's a button, there are the holes, and those are the sleeves, finished nicely, like somebody actually knitted it. But no, this was a front of the real cardigan, of the my wrong cardigan I wore, and I like the pink and I cut it off. I decided to cut the cardigan basically for the dolls, and I do this quite a lot with my nice clothes. I should stop, but I quite enjoy I see the fabric, think, oh, that's nice. When I buy something in the shops, I always think dolls first. And another trick, not the trick, but another kind of finding, which really helps. I'm gonna show it on this doll because she's the only one which is dressed in nice clothes, because other SDs like partially dressed because I'm making some clothes for them. Anyway, you probably see it. I know you can buy them anywhere really, eBay, again, AliExpress. So these are magnetic bracelets. So that's the bracelet for human. And I actually bought them on a charity shop. I got them from charity shop, but when I checked them online, they're more than available online. They used to be quite fashion, so it's different decoration. Them there's a nice buckles. So guess what? Obviously, I think I mentioned this kind of thing in one of my previous videos. So I apologize, she wears obviously dress, and this probably belt is not very appropriate, but that's the most easy thing to put on. Just here you go, and take off. So I'll try to show it a bit closer. Let me take your wig off. So if you look now, her eyes, so this actually the handmade eyes, I made these eyes. So she kind of look not as dollish, so her look is not like, oh yeah, I'm doll, I'm staring at you, you know, the doll stare like that. So it hasn't got it because of the eye positioning. So a lot of people, what they do, and I noticed a lot of pictures, they actually put their eyes straight. Let me just do it. You can see the difference. Though these eyes are nice because they've got small iris, but with the kind of, you know, the standard eyes, they look like the doll stare. I know some people maybe like it, but I think for photography it doesn't really flow at all. So yeah, it's like kind of more like I'm zombified from any angle, so there is no, when you make from different angles, it looks like the doll basically stares somewhere. But the trick is you need to see the white, because in our eyes, if you look in my eyes, maybe it's not the best example, my kind of pupils are a bit big now because of the lighting. So if you move the eyes slightly up, and obviously have to do with both of them, otherwise it's going to be cross-eyed doll. So up and the corner slightly, like it's looking slightly that way, like this. This works very well for photography from any angle. Some people do this, which is, like I said, it's fun. It's totally to personal preference, but when you look at the picture, the doll has got a doll stare, hasn't got this human kind of touch. I can't do it with this eyes because, like I said, there's too many white in here, and I deliberately made it that way. I created the eyes like that. Obviously they have to be symmetrical. I mean, you have to kind of see if it's too cross-eyed or not. You can see it kind of becomes a bit more interesting rather than the dolly stare. It becomes more kind of, yeah, more like I'm looking that and that side. And I'm currently waiting for, should have ordered that. So I ordered a couple of dolls. One is coming from, it's very, it's not very known company again. It's basically not very popular company, I would say. And I've never seen people actually having this doll like an Instagram match at all. And I've seen a couple of videos of that unboxing back in 2014, but it's not that kind of doll. The reason I got that particular one, I obviously have to be patient if you're interested, and wait and see what the doll is going to be. MSD scale again. And the reason I bought it, the only reason I bought it, I ordered it because of her body. The body is, I'm not going to say anymore, because otherwise I maybe give it away and we don't want to spoil the surprise. And also I've got one interesting package coming from China, from AliExpress. It's going to be a very odd doll, very odd. I will open the box now, review that body when it arrives, hopefully soon. And just to mention that that was inspired by one of the YouTubers, Dems BJD, and she was she was reviewing interesting like dolls which are not BJDs, but they're jointed, but they're not strong inside, so the kind of more IBS, which is amazing and perfectly fine. You know, everyone is enjoying the hobby how they can. And I think these dolls she found well, I was already tempted to get more, but I've got so many dolls already. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry for mumbling in the end, but I bet you haven't seen that and you probably skipped it and you went to somewhere else. Bye guys, thank you for watching.